Hey guys, welcome back to Trad Rod and Custom. I am Oliver, and in today's video, we're going to do something a little different. You're not going to want to miss this one. Let's get into it. As my longtime subscribers and followers know, this channel is not just about hot rods and customs. It's not just about cool cars and events. It's also about the tools that build them. Now, recently I got a call from a local car collector friend. They're cleaning out a shed, and they said, "Hey, you want to come by? Grab anything you want out of there. We just want the stuff out of there." I said, "Sure." I'm always down to do a little picking. So I went over there, took a peek, grabbed a few things. I grabbed a 440, Dodge 440, a couple little thises and that's. I think I got a fog light. It had been picked over a couple times. But one thing I found down in the dirt was an old vise. Now, this type of vise is the type that opens like a scissor, kind of. I mean, it hinges at the bottom, so not quite like a scissor, but it like a clamshell, I guess. You call it like a clamshell. It's very similar to old blacksmiths' post vices, which are great for hammering on because they're supported down on the ground. So all your downward hammering when you're bending stuff over, stuff like that, it's all supported all the way down to your concrete base. Now this one's a little different. Now it's a little unique looking. And it's got a hole in the base where it looks like a post could go. And through a lot of digging, because there's no maker's marks on it, I discovered that it's more like a pipe fitter's vise. And this thing has been around. They made these all the way back to the late 1800s and all the way up to the 1980s, I think. And the hole in the bottom was to put a bar in so you could clamp this thing on a big pipe and you could use like a huge pipe wrench. It also would work the same way a blacksmith's pipe vise or a post vise, leg vise would work. So the thing was pretty seized up. It wasn't in great shape. It should have come with a block that mounts it to a bench, and then you can pivot the vise in that block, and that allows you to do angles and other things. It's neat though, because different from a blacksmith's vise, it does have jaws for grabbing pipes and stuff, round things. So it's a very unique vise, and it's neat. And the cool thing, one of the coolest things to me about metal shaping that I've learned from all the greatest legends of metal fabrication, shaping, custom car world, is a tool. You don't got to use tools for what they were used for, or what they were made for. Metal shaping, most of the best metal shaping tools are tools that are built right in your shop, or they've been repurposed from other things. Dollies, and I've seen some really neat dollies that were made. They're anvils for cobblers for making shoes, and hammers for all these other trades, farriers and cobblers, different hammers that have been polished and shaped and turned into body hammers. So, sticking with that tradition, I am going to restore this vise, make a leg for it, and see if we can put it in the shop. I don't have a block to mount it to the bench, so it won't be able to rotate. So I figure if I make a leg or a post for it, it'll be just like a blacksmith's vise. It'll be cast, but should be really stout and sturdy. One of the neat things about this design is, in a typical vise, the way it telescopes in, when you clamp down on something and you beat on it, you're putting pressure on that mount. That's one of the reasons that Wilton bullet vices are so good, is they actually have a tube around your threaded rod so that it's not bending on that joint. I have a Wilton. I just don't really like beating on stuff on it. It's a bigger Wilton, but it's a Wilton. I got a few $100 in the thing, and it's from the 50s, and I like it. I don't want to beat on it. So a free vise that I can beat on that will work great in the shop. I think we should restore it, see what we can do with it. And the best part is we got nothing in it. So guess what? If we beat it to death or break it, we're out a little bit of time. Some rattle can. So let's go see what we can do with that thing. First thing I wanted to do was make a leg for it. So I took this old axle shaft, it's from an old banjo rear end, and I cut the gear off. Want to just get it down to a regular post. Now the other end slides up inside, but I wanted it to have a nice shoulder to sit on so it's strong. I laid all this weld around it, and I'm going to turn it down on the lathe, see how I like it, and hopefully it adds some support so that it's not just using the casting shelf that's inside there for the strength. So that fits in there pretty good. One thing I don't really like is it felt like it was not supportive enough. So I took this really big washer and I welded that around it. Now that I'm going to turn down just a little bit, but it will give it just a little more base. You know, I really want it to have nice support down there. And that solves the problem. So once that thing slides in there, it's nice and sturdy feeling. Feels really solid in there. Now this stand is a little preview of coming attractions. Going to be building something with that soon. You can't really tell in the picture, but it's cast iron base. Got a really cool tool we're going to be building with that. And you're not going to want to miss that one. That's going to be a neat video. It's going to be a couple videos away, but should be really neat. So what I've been doing there is oiling. I think I got marvels in that can. Just oiling up the little pivot pin down there, trying to get the thing back to where it flexes. It uses a little spring that pushes it open as you unscrew the threaded rod. So you need to have that be flexible enough that it'll push that jaw open. Next, I'm going to do a little bit more cleanup. I'm going to get the jaws off, and then we'll start prepping for paint. Want to clean up those jaws a little bit, probably file them down a little. Ended up putting about 3 coats of the engine enamel red on, and then a coat of clear, the 2K clear on top. Putting the jaws back in, and we'll get her assembled and put back together and see how she works. Gonna also put a little bit of grease on that thread, just protect it and help it move smoothly. Hopefully it all works a little better than it did when I first got it. Next up, we're going to clean up that post though. Make it look pretty, put a little black on it maybe. Let's get it cleaned up. Well, she's coming back together. Now I just got to figure out some way that I'm going to mount this thing without that block. You know, I can put the post in and that'll keep it upright, but I got to figure out a way to anchor it. So I had noticed earlier when I stood up next to my bench how close it was in height to my bench. And I started eyeballing my bench, and it's pretty thick, and I was looking for spots where, you know, it might be sturdy enough to support this. It won't rotate, of course, but it's going to be more like a blacksmith's post vise. But I had a little idea, and I decided to run with it. So what I'm actually doing here is I'm using a piece of sheet metal and I'm forming it over that. So now it has a cradle in the bench. It has room for the threaded rod to extend into the bench where it needs to. And then I'll just cinch that sheet metal down real tight. If I really have to, I can drill and thread a hole through it to put a bolt in, but I don't think I'm going to need to. It's actually pretty tight once it's on there. If I ever get screws into it. Honestly, guys, that turned out pretty cool. I'm really happy with that. It looks good. It functions well. It's smooth. I like how fine the threads are on that. It'll be nice and strong for that reason, I think. And again, we got no money in the thing. So for a free vise, I couldn't be happier. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate it if you guys hit that subscribe button. The Buy Me a Coffee link is down below if you guys want to contribute to the channel, help me buy parts, help me buy tools, help me restore them, help me build hot rods, and help me get to the Grand National Roadster Show again this next year. I'll be there either way, but man, it's an expensive trip annually. So if you want Grand National Roadster Show coverage, this is the channel for it. Now, this next video we'll be doing is going to be on Dad's hot rod again. We're going to yank that four-door body off the chassis, get ready to clean it up, Raptor line the chassis, and set our big, beautiful 292 in there. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Hit the subscribe button down below, hit the little thumbs up, and if you have a second, drop a comment down there. Tell me what you thought of the video. Thanks.